Want to learn Chinese? In this video, I interview Rob Bailey here in China who has his own guitar company, and he'll share how he learned Mandarin. Coming up. Hi, my name's Kuijo. I've lived in China for 10 years and I speak good Chinese, but this gentleman, you do speak pretty good Chinese,
Pretty
right?
good.
Yeah. Okay, so Rob Bailey, tell us about your company and start off by saying how Chinese has helped you do what you do.
I'm the managing director of Journey Instruments and Convergent Sourcing. Our primary business is engaged in guitars, travel guitars. I use Chinese daily. In fact, I'm the only native English speaker
Nice.
on my staff. We have about 10 employees here, 2 up north. Without Chinese, I could not do my job.
I'm interviewing Rob and he's going to share some tips about how he learned and encourage you guys, and hopefully you can take something away that will help you fit in language to your day-to-day schedule to speak and practice Chinese. So keep going. Without Chinese, you couldn't do your job.
I read contracts in Chinese. I negotiate with suppliers. I do a lot of quality control resolution with suppliers, and I manage my staff actively all in Chinese.
All right, Rob, you got phenomenal Chinese, but you need to share how long you've been in China so that people don't think we can do this overnight.
Actually, I've been in China. My first trip was in 1996.
Oh,
A long time.
when I was in middle school.
Yeah,
No, ninth grader. Okay.
And then I went to university in Zhejiang University in Hangzhou
Okay.
for 2 years, and then I worked as a translator for another 2 years after that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was.
You actually were a translator?
Yeah, I was a translator for a steel trading company in Hong Kong, where I met my wife. It was amazing, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That should be your language trip.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
married. But she's from Hong Kong, so she doesn't speak Mandarin natively.
Yeah,
Cantonese.
here's a
Okay.
funny story. Okay, so while we were dating,
Okay.
part of the time I lived in Shenzhen, which is right across. And so we would go to restaurants, and her Mandarin was not very good. My Mandarin was way better than hers. And so we'd go to a restaurant, and people would instinctively talk to her.
Sure. Asian
But I would answer. So I would be her white translator for a Hong Kong person. It was really fun. So
you must have enjoyed that.
yeah, it was great. But now, I mean, she's great now, and her vocabulary is huge because she grew up in Hong Kong.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cantonese, Mandarin. Yeah, okay, they speak Cantonese in China, but it sounds completely different from Mandarin. And people that are from Hong Kong or Guangdong, where they speak Cantonese natively, start learning Mandarin, and it does sound special.
I would say the top tips are: 1, daily practice. You
There
got
it
to
is.
practice
Yeah.
daily. And from my experience, it could be like 2 intervals of say 20 minutes or half an hour are better than a large chunk of just 1 hour. Kind of the way your brain works. So that's 1. 2, I use a method called LAMP. It's called
Lamp.
Language Acquisition Made Practical.
Explain that.
So basically, I go to class, and I was studying in China at that time, and so I would literally, whatever I learned, I would go to the fruit store and buy a big bag of fruit, and I would walk to my barber,
Okay.
to the convenience store,
Okay.
to the other guy who sells bread, and I would say the same thing
Okay.
over and over again. So
Huh.
it was just repetition.
But you're using it. You took what
Exactly.
you had in the classroom and
Exactly.
put it to use outside.
And
Good.
then it also helped me because I would say something to them, and then they would be replying back, and I would hear what are the natural responses to what I was learning.
Okay.
That was really helpful. And I would say the third thing that really helped me is when I learned Chinese, I was both reading and writing and speaking. And so when I would learn reading and writing, to practice the characters and say the word with the tone.
Okay.
Because Chinese is a tonal language.
Mhm.
If you say it phonetically properly, but you don't have the tone, people will look at you like you're crazy. So those are probably my top studying tips, I would say.
Those are great tips.
Yeah.
So you manage your company fully in Chinese. Do you write Chinese emails?
I type Chinese.
You type
emails.
Chinese emails. Okay.
My
Alright.
written Chinese is horrible now because it's on the computer.
That's okay though, because we're all on the computer.
Yeah, right.
So
Right.
that's okay. So you've been studying effectively for 2 decades?
Well, I would say actively studying. I actively studied Chinese for about 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
And then I just kind of carried over to my work environment.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the great thing about Chinese, is you can continue to study it for the rest of your life. I read about 10 minutes of news in Chinese every day just to
Good.
keep my reading sharp.
That's a big thing. Interests. Like, I like business, so I'll buy a business book in English and a business book in Chinese. The most recent one was Heart, Smarts, Guts, and Luck I read that one in both languages. You can check it out. I'll put a link to it in the descriptions and see what people think about it. They do have it here in China. I read the whole book in English, and then the parts that I like the most, because for me the interest really fuels the language acquisition, I'll look at those in Chinese. So maybe a third to half the book in Chinese.
Yeah.
And that's how I learn.
That's great. I mean, if your interest is there, I'm sure that helps your memory and your attention.
So, phrases.
Okay, I'll give you a couple of helpful phrases. One is 不好意思. So 不好意思 is a very versatile phrase. So you can use it, it means like I'm so embarrassed. But you can use it when you bump into someone and you really are embarrassed. Or you can use it when someone cuts in line in front of you and you shove them out of the way. And you can say, 不好意思, and you're actually saying, you're so embarrassed. But in general, it's just a great all-around tool to kind of like get along in society. And, it's a very kind of a passive phrase. Another phrase I would say is, and this a buddy taught me, it's 麦当劳在哪里? Where is McDonald's in Chinese?
For the bathrooms?
Here's the deal.
Okay.
If you're a foreigner in China, if you find McDonald's, you can survive. You can live for a year. There's food, there's water, there's bathrooms, and there's benches to sleep on.
Wow.
So you're set.
Okay.
So 麦当劳在哪里?
麦当劳在哪里?
There you go.
Great. Okay, let's just take those two. Look, if you play guitar, he makes a really good travel guitar. And I don't know anything about guitars, but people who know are playing his guitars.
Yeah, basically what we do is we do a travel guitar that you can literally collapse into the dimensions of a carry-on luggage that you can take on a plane with you. We have some of the best artists in the world playing them, and I won't talk anymore. Just check out this clip, and if you're interested, check us out.
Pretty cool, huh? I'm gonna put links to your business in the description. If you want to reach out to Rob either about living in China or about guitars, head down to the description. His Instagram is there, official YouTube page, Facebook business page. Well, thank you for this interview,
Yeah,
Rob.
you bet. My pleasure.
So this is Kuejo, elementarychinese.com. Good study, day up. That's it.
Right, man.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was quick.
Yeah,
It was
I think,
good.
this really fits you.